The Earthlings. I'm Deanna, and I am your resident space fangirl. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things pretty soon. I thought I would kick off my first live stream of 2026 doing a whole themed live stream tonight. I apologize. It's late. I'm used to being in bed a little bit earlier nowadays with all the meds I'm taking for my back. But we're doing a themed live stream on the Orion constellation as well as what can be found within the Orion constellation. So, as you can see on the screen here, we have quite a lot of stuff to go over. So, let's dive into the big picture first, the constellation of Orion itself. This is the winter sky's main event, the one constellation almost everyone recognizes, even if they don't know its name. Orion matters because it's basically a whole textbook of stellar evolution laid out in one patch of sky. You've got star birth happening down in the Sword, massive young stars blazing in the Belt, and red supergiants like Betelgeuse showing us what happens at the end of a star's life. It's all here. Orion is best known for those three belt stars, which are right here. We have Alnitak, Alnilarn, and Mintaka. I apologize if I butcher those names. And they're all lined up in that perfect row. Below them is the Sword. And tucked inside the Sword is the Orion Nebula, which we'll be looking at in just a moment. Up in the corners, you've got Rigel. Let's see, where is Rigel at on here? Oh, down here. I lost my spot. That bright blue-white supergiant and Betelgeuse, glowing orange-red as it swells into its late life phase. Visually, Orion is one of the easiest constellations to spot. Even in light-polluted skies, the belt jumps right out at you. Once you see that line of three stars, the rest of the hunter's outline falls into place. Tonight, viewers can spot the belt, the Sword region, Rigel, Betelgeuse, and the overall shape of the constellation with just the naked eye. And if you're watching from home, this is a great time to step outside and see if you can find it yourself. And why now? Because early February is peak Orion season. Right after sunset, Orion is high, bright, and perfectly placed for us to explore all the incredible objects packed inside it. Fun little note before we zoom in. The stars that make up Orion aren't actually close to each other in space. They just happen to line up from our point of view. Some are a few hundred light years away, and others, like the Orion Nebula, are over 1,000. But from Earth, they come together to form this iconic winter figure. So let's go ahead and, before we move on, I want to show you some of the stuff that we have here. So we have Betelgeuse. Up here, like I said earlier, that is an orange reddish star. We have Bellatrix at the other shoulder. Tabit at the end of the arrow. We have the three belt stars. We have Safe and Rigel down here. Now if we flip over to, this is the Sea Star app. And this does give you some more information about the Orion constellation. It is one of the 88 modern constellations, and it was among the 48 constellations listed by the 2nd century AD astronomer Ptolemy. It's named after a hunter in Greek mythology. And here is a list of some of the things that you could see if you were looking at the Orion Nebula, either with binoculars or a telescope. So we've got the Orion Nebula, which most people are very familiar with. Marion's Nebula. I always want to say Marion's Nebula because that I is thrown in there. the Casper Ghost Nebula, the Running Man Nebula, Epsilon Orion, Orionis. Man, those Latin names are so hard. The Epsilon Orionis Nebula, Flame Nebula, Monkey Head Nebula, the Horsehead Nebula, and then we have a list of stars here as well. Again, we have Alnilam, Alnitak, Bellatrix, Betelgeuse, Miesa? Again, I'm not very good with pronouncing these names. Nair El Safe, Rigel, Safe, and Thabit. And if we locate the target position and zoom out, you can see it right there. And where that little red box is in the screen right here, that is the Orion Nebula. And as you can see, this is the path that it's taking tonight. And it is at its apex right now, which means that it's currently just under 60% above the horizon. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to there. And I'm actually going to move it just a smidge. And we are going to go there. Yeah, there's a little, on the Seastar app, they have a little helper dude now that explains stuff to you, and it's slightly annoying. Don't shoot me, but it's very annoying. So we are trying to get zoomed in on it right now. We're going to wait for that to pop up. Ta-da! Excuse me, I do apologize for the grainy picture. This is my Seastar S50, and it unfortunately has a wonky light pollution filter at this stage of the game. I don't know what's causing it. I do need to have it looked at, but that is the Orion Nebula. I'm going to go ahead and mark that as soon as it catches an image. It hasn't captured a frame yet. Come on, you can do it. I know it's not cloudy out. It's being a pain. So, anyways, while we're waiting for it to capture frames, this is a massive emission nebula and one of the closest stellar nurseries to Earth. When we look at Messier 42, we're looking straight into a region where new stars are forming right now. It's basically a cosmic delivery room. Messier 42 matters because it gives us a front row seat to star birth. The radiation from those newborn stars is lighting up the surrounding gas and carving out all of these beautiful structures that you see on a screen. It's best known for the trapezium cluster, that tight little group of young, hot stars right in the center. Right here. Those stars are only a few million years old, and they're powerful enough to shape the entire nebula around them. As the image builds, you'll notice the appearance. A bright, glowing core with these sweeping wings of gas stretching outward. The longer we stack, the more detail you'll see. Shock fronts, dust lanes, and those subtle color differences between hydrogen and oxygen. It still hasn't captured a frame yet, and I am concerned about that. What viewers can see, though, is the bright heart of the nebula. The trapezium starts sharpening into view, and the curved gas structures that make Messier 42 look almost alive. Even a short exposure reveals so much. Now, if our eyes were a little more sensitive, the Orion Nebula would actually look slightly green. That's from doubly ionized oxygen glowing at the core. Cameras pick it up easily, but our eyes just aren't built for that kind of low light color. And I know it still hasn't captured a frame yet, but I did capture an image earlier. Ta-da! Is it going to load? There it is. Now, if we go to, actually I want to go back there. As you can see on our little outline there, we're going to check out the Running Man Nebula. And that is NGC 1977, which is the year I was born. And I see my little Discord chat buddy is here. Hello. So hopefully it will capture this. There's actually several stars inside of the Running Man Nebula. I just picked 1977 because it's easy for me to remember. There's also 1973, 1974, quite a few stars there inside the Running Man Nebula. If Messier 42 is all about starbirth and glowing hydrogen, the Running Man is a reflection nebula. Instead of glowing on its own, it shines because starlight is bouncing off of clouds of dust. That's why it has a soft blue color. The dust scatters blue light more efficiently, just like our atmosphere does during the day. And it looks like it already picked up a frame, so let's wait for the image to load. There we go. And I'm actually going to adjust the contrast on that so you guys can get a better view of it. So right here you can see some of the blue dust that is reflecting light from the stars. This object matters because it shows us another side of the Orion complex. Same neighborhood, same giant molecular cloud, but a completely different physical process. It's a great way to show people who look at it that not all nebulae behave in the same way. It is best known for those dark dust lanes that cut across the blue glow and create the shape of a little running figure, the Running Man, which is in this general area here. Let's see if I can't zoom in on that for y'all. Actually, no, that's right here. I don't see it yet, but we've only captured less than a minute of frames. As it builds, we'll probably see it. And as you can see, we got some star trails in here. Fun fact, this isn't just one nebula. It's actually three. 1973, 1975, not 1974, and 1977, all blending together in the same field. As the image builds, you'll notice the appearance. A soft blue haze with those dark streaks forming the arms and legs of the runner. Maybe this is it. Oh. Yeah, arms, legs, feet. It's delicate, almost ghostly, and it contrasts beautifully with the bright, energetic look of Messier 42 just below it. What you can spot tonight are those reflection regions, the dark lanes, and the way the nebula wraps around the stars embedded inside it. Even a short stack brings out that signature silhouette. And as you can see, we've got some more star trails here in the image. Let's see, can we get... Yep, there's our Running Man. There's the arm, upper body, one leg, two leg, another arm out this way. It's kind of neat. So, now what I want to do is I'm going to stop this. And I'm going to show you guys something really neat here. Now we're going to go to the star map. And we're going to come right up here. Now I know this says IC 434 right here. That's not what this is. This is Sigma Orionis, or 48 Orionis. It also has an HD number. I'm not sure what that is. Let me see if I can't find it in my notes. HD 37468. And what that is, that's the HD catalog. There's also the HIP catalog. There's the Messier catalog. So many catalogs. But this has multiple names, and it is Sigma Orionis. Turn that guy off. So now we're going to shift to Sigma Orionis, which is a beautiful multiple star system just south of Alnitak at the eastern end of Orion's belt. Sigma Orionis matters because it's not just one star. It's actually a gravitationally bound system of 5 massive young stars, all packed into a very small region of space. I don't know why the light pollution filter is still on. It was supposed to turn off, but that's okay. These stars are only a few million years old, which makes them cosmic newborns. It's best known for the sheer amount of ultraviolet radiation these stars pump out. That radiation is powerful enough to shape the entire neighborhood, including the famous Horsehead Nebula. Even though we're not showcasing the Horsehead tonight, we'll go ahead and take a look at it anyways. It's right next to the Flame Nebula, which is what we're going to do next. Sigma Orionis is the engine behind a lot of the structure in that region. And what makes this system interesting is how rare it is. Multiple star systems are common, but 5 massive stars all bound together, that's unusual. And because they're so young and so hot, they give us a look at what early stellar evolution looks like in real time. So you'll notice the appearance is a bright primary star with several fainter stars around it. This would clear up. Let's see. You can kind of see a little bit here. Again, it's being weird because it's got the light pollution filter on. I'm going to stop this. Now, what you could spot tonight are those individual components separating out. The bright central star, the companions all around it, and the rich star field behind them. It's a great contrast after the soft, hazy look of the Running Man. And a fun little note. These stars are so young that they haven't even settled into stable main sequence lifetimes yet. They're still in that chaotic early phase where they're shaping everything around them. So what I'm going to do now, I have both my sea stars out tonight. We're going to switch over to the S30. because I set that one up early. You're going to dig this. So we're going to go ahead and pop over to Alnitak and the Flame Nebula. This right here, this is the star Alnitak. This is the Flame Nebula. This is the Horsehead Nebula I was telling you about earlier. I'll zoom in on that real quick. You can see if you tilt your head to the side, it looks like a little horsey. But we are going to focus on the Flame Nebula and Alnitak. And this is the easternmost star in Orion's belt. And right next to it is probably one of the most dramatic nebulae in the winter sky, which is NGC 2024, the Flame Nebula. This region matters because it's a textbook example of how massive stars sculpt their surroundings. Alnitak is a powerhouse, a star about 20 times the mass of our sun, and its intense radiation is blasting into a nearby cloud of gas and dust, lighting it up from behind. Flame Nebula is best known for those dark branching dust lanes that you can see right here that cut through the bright hydrogen glow. It really does look like a flame, or a maple leaf, if you're in Canada, eh? What makes this region interesting is the contrast. You've got this incredibly bright belt star right next to a delicate, detailed nebula. The dust absorbs and blocks some of that light, creating all those intricate shapes. It's a great example of how light and shadow work on a cosmic scale. Now, you'll notice that it has the bright central glow right here, with dark tree-like structures branching outward. And depending on your setup, you might even catch hints of the larger molecular cloud complex that connects this whole region to the Horsehead Nebula and the Orion Nebula. Now, the difference between the S30 and the S50 telescopes is the aperture of the lens. The S30 is going to have a wider native field of view, and the image is going to be just a bit smaller, whereas the S50 has a 50 millimeter aperture, and it zooms in just a little bit more. So with the S30, we're able to capture all of this dust right here, as well as the Horsehead Nebula. Now, if you're using a regular telescope, you might be able to see both the Flame Nebula and the Horsehead Nebula and the Orion Nebula all in one shot, depending on the aperture of your lens. So a fun little note, the Flame Nebula is part of the same giant molecular cloud complex that includes the Horsehead Nebula and the Orion Nebula, and all of these objects actually are connected. We're just zooming in on different pieces of the same enormous structure. I actually like the horsey head just a little bit. Isn't that cute? So that is all of the stuff that I had planned on showing you this evening. And I will post some of these pictures in the posts on my YouTube page. And if anyone in the chat has any requests, then I can most definitely do that. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to what we were looking at earlier, the Orion constellation. And we'll see if we can't catch some of these other objects while we're in here. Let's try the Casper Ghost Nebula. That is actually Messier 78 or NGC 2068. NGC is another catalog. And you can see it right there in the middle. And we're going to go there. I need to figure out how to turn that little dude off. So it's going to build the image. Come on, you can do it. Got to give them a little encouragement. Do I have these set? I have this set on 30 second. Oh. I have these on 30-second exposures instead of 10-second exposures. But I'm going to zoom in and you can kind of see it forming right here. Look, tilt your head sideways. It looks like one of those Pac-Man ghosts. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Sue. So Messier 78 is one of the best examples of a reflection nebula in the entire sky. It shows how starlight bounces off dust instead of exciting gas, like in Messier 42, the Orion Nebula. It's also part of the same giant molecular cloud complex that includes the Orion Nebula, the Running Man, the Horsehead, and the Flame. And it has two bright stars right here, which are HD 38563A and B, although I don't know which one is which. Let's see if it'll mark it. Nope, it won't. So, an interesting fact about this is it is packed with young stellar objects, protostars, and Herbig-Haro objects, which are signs of active star formation hidden inside the dust. It's basically a quieter, dustier cousin of the Orion Nebula. And let's see what else I can find out about it. It also contains Herbig-Haro 24, which is a jet from a newborn star blasting through the surrounding dust, but it's only visible in long exposures or deep astrophotography. Well, these are long exposures, so maybe we'll get a better shot of it. See if I can zoom in a little more. Golly, it looks so much better. Let's see, I'll change the contrast on that, see if that helps. There we go. Whoop, whoop. Look at that. Sorry, I've got 6 monitors here, so I'm all at different screens. So that is Messier 78, which is also part of the Orion constellation. Kind of creepy looking. Gonna pop back out. And we're going to see what else we have here. All right. Epsilon Orionis Nebula, Flame Nebula, Monkey Head, Horse Head. Yeah, a lot of... The Monkey Head. It's an open cluster in the Orion constellation embedded in a diffusion nebula, which was discovered by Giovanni Battista Hodierna before 1654 and independently discovered by Carl Christian Bruns in 1857. NGC 2175 is at a distance of about 6,350 light years away from Earth. And it is currently at the apex. Stop that. I really need to find a way to turn that off. You're right, it did look a little haunted. Now, I can tell you from past experience with these large orange gas nebulae that they do take quite a few exposures. And again, I don't know why I have this set at 30 seconds instead of 10, but that's okay. We're going to give this a little bit more time. And I'm going to get some information about this from my notes here. 2175. All right, so it is a young open star cluster embedded in a large emission nebula. And as you can see, that's what happens when it doesn't capture a frame. It just gets a little smeared. Come on. Give me at least one. Come on. You can do it. Close enough for government work. Right, let's enhance the contrast so y'all can see it better. And we're going to watch it build. So there is a little bit of catalog confusion with this guy. NGC 2175 usually refers to the cluster, and NGC 2174 usually refers to the brightest nebular knot. And the whole nebula itself is called the Monkey Head Nebula. It's an active star-forming region inside the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex, similar in spirit to M42, but farther away and more diffuse. The region contains young stars, ionized gas, and complex dust structures. And this little knot of stars here is actually 2174, whereas the whole nebula is 2175. No, I take that back. Scratch that, reverse it. The 2175 refers to the cluster, and 2174 refers to the nebular knot. And the it's ionized hydrogen, considered an H2 region. And it has radio sources. That's kind of neat. So we've only got about a minute worth here. I'm going to let that go real quick, and I'm going to switch back to the S50. And I'm going to show y'all some of these stars because the stars look really cool when you get close to them. So we're going to go to Orion. And we already went to Alnitak because that's where the Flame Nebula is. And if we go to Alnilam, which is the center star in the belt, yeah, you can see here that line up really nice. And these are bright freaking stars. And here's Mintaka over here. Those are the 3 stars of the belt. I believe, yeah, this one's set to 10-second exposures. Gimme, 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 gimme. There we go. And as you can tell, that is a bright pupper. I'm going to change the contrast on that. Look at that. So, this is a blue supergiant that's about 2,000 light years away from us. It is the brightest of the belt stars, and it's so luminous that it dominates the dust and gas around it, creating a glowing reflection region in long exposures. Fun note, Alnilam is shedding mass at an enormous rate through a powerful stellar wind. It's in a very unstable evolutionary phase. So I'm actually going to... Yes, it says AI, don't hate me. Yeah, it does look white, but that's just because of how our eyes perceive the color and also how the camera perceives the color as well. It's in that particular wavelength of the visible light spectrum. Honestly, the AI denoise feature is one of my favorites because it removes a lot of that fuzziness, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see it in here. Ooh. It's taking longer than it should. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Look at that image. So, yeah, it does look very bright white to us, but that's just how the lens of the telescope is perceiving it on the visible light spectrum. So I'm going to save this guy. Actually, I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to save this guy. Image saved. Actually, I'm going to stop that. Come on. You can do it. Now we're going to go back to our whole picture. Now, if that one looked white to you, just zooming in on that guy. Yeah, the AI was taking quite a long time, and that doesn't usually happen, but considering, it's removing all the background noise from the picture, I'm not surprised that it happened. Come on. You can do it. There we go. And let me go ahead and adjust the contrast for y'all. And as you can see, that one is orange. Now this is a red supergiant that's actually at the end of its life. It's a late stage massive star, and it's a real-time example of what happens when a star many times the mass of the sun runs out of fuel. And it's actually a candidate for a future supernova. If placed at the center of our solar system, it would extend past the orbit of Jupiter. So that's a whole lot. Yeah, it does look like a warm orange or yellowish. Uh, because it is so large and unstable, its surface boils in giant cells the size of Earth's orbit, and those cells can change the star's brightness over months. So sometimes it'll look brighter, sometimes it'll look dimmer, and that's because the surface of that star is actually boiling. And the reason it's so noticeable to us is because of the sheer size of this star. So if we want to denoise this guy, yeah, this is going to take another minute. You don't have to fear. It is, like I said, it is thousands of light years away from us. And and it is actually, like I said earlier, it's a candidate for a supernova. It's at the end of its life. It's going to go out in a bang, and it's going to explode. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. There we go. Save that guy. Now, one more star I want to look at. On the opposite side It's not billions of light years away. It's 2,000-ish light years away. Now, we're up in his armpit right now. We're going to go down to his foot. Down to another very bright bluish-white star. There we are. That's a big, bright one. It is a blue-white supergiant. It's extremely hot and luminous, and it's also nearing the later stages of its life. It actually dominates the lower half of Orion and illuminates the surrounding dust, including the faint Witch Head Nebula, which is an IC catalog object, IC 2118. Well, you can see there at the bottom where we got a star trail already. Oh, there it goes, right across it. Bummer. Stop it and restart it. Yeah, it's so bright I don't even have to start it up for it to really pop on the screen. Rigel is actually a multiple star system with at least 3 companions orbiting the main supergiant. The primary star is tens of thousands of times brighter than the sun and burns through its fuel at a furious rate. Like, whoa. It just numbs that stuff up. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. I hate when that happens. Gotta recenter it. You don't have to have nightmares about exploding stars or boiling stars. They are very, 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 very far away. Like, really far away. Yay, we captured a frame. There you are. I do say so. You have nothing to worry about. That star is so far away that even if it exploded, we wouldn't even feel any aftershocks. As a matter of fact, it could have already exploded, and the light wouldn't reach us for thousands of years. You have nothing to worry about. Yeah, you can see that it's just throwing off light. Go through this whole process again. So, besides all the other stuff that we looked at tonight, we also got to look at a couple of stars. After we get this one done, I'm going to set this back to the Orion Nebula, and we'll switch back over to the S30, and we'll see how that image of the Flame Nebula and the Horsehead Nebula is coming along. And then, like I said, I'll post all of these up to the YouTube channel after the stream. There we are. Look at that one. Oh, download. Go. I'm gonna go back. We're gonna stop. Yep, my battery is running pretty low on the telescope, so we're going to hit that guy again. Keep it up just a bit. Go 2. Oh. Yep, you can see exactly where it is. And all the other goodies around it. Let that clear up. They all look kind of delicious to eat. I don't know. I think it'd give you a little bit of heartburn there, buddy. And I think my cat is sitting in the other chair. All right, let's see if we can actually capture some frames this time. I'm wondering if it's getting cloudy out. They may would taste like caramel or some cotton candy. I don't think so, and I honestly don't think your mouth is big enough to fit it in there. Yeah, I need to figure out how to turn that little dude off. Yeah, if you were looking at it with binoculars, that's about what it would look like. Or a manual telescope. Come on. Pick up a frame. I bet you it's getting cloudy outside. It was supposed to get cloudy later on this evening. I was just hoping I could beat it. Well, I'm going to let that one do its thing and switch over to the S30. Excuse me. Yep, it is past my bedtime. There we go. That is our Monkey's Head Nebula. And honestly, I think it might be getting cloudy because you can tell right here that it hasn't been capturing as many frames. It's still picking some up. It's just oh, I see how it's going to be. And there is our Monkey's Head Nebula. We're going to go back down to take a minute to drive down. See if it'll actually pick it up now. Yeah, it didn't look much like a monkey to me, but I guess the reason they call it the monkey's head is it comes from wide field astrophotos. If you rotate the image, the shape kind of resembles a cartoon monkey profile. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. All right, let's see if we picked up any frames on the Orion Nebula yet. I love how I can switch between two different telescopes in the same app. ZWO did a really good job with this. Nope, have not caught a darn thing. Let's try it one more time. It's not centered properly. Why is it being like that? Gotta tell you, I loved the S50 when I first got it, but since some of these firmware updates, it's just been so wonky. Did we? We did not get a frame yet. Really? Star trails detected. You know, a lot of these star trails are the Starlink satellites. There's over 40,000 of them in orbit now. And they just make it so difficult for both amateur astronomers and students of astronomy, professional astrophotographers. It makes everything so much more difficult to try to get a clean shot. You know what? No. I'm actually going to power down the S50 since the battery is dying. And I'm going to connect to the S30. Yeah, Starlink, the satellite internet from Elon Musk. So we'll go back. We've got about 4 minutes of capture on this. And we can denoise it. Yeah, Elon Musk made Starlink for satellite internet worldwide. Yep. So I'm going to save that guy. I'm actually going to tweak the color a bit too. Now let's see if this guy can pick up the Orion Nebula. Yeah. I mean, I get needing internet infrastructure worldwide, but unfortunately, they aren't going about it in the best way. They just see a way to do it and they do it without thinking of the consequences, like how it's going to affect people who study space. So, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Starlink. Oh, I disconnected. There we are. And we'll denoise that guy. And going to tweak the colors just a bit. And there we go. So tonight we went over the Orion constellation and a lot of its components. The Orion Nebula, the Running Man Nebula, Sigma Orionis, Flame Nebula, Horsehead Nebula, the three stars in the belt, which are Almanac, Mintaka, and Alnilam. I'm horrible at pronouncing these names. We looked up at Betelgeuse in the shoulder and Rigel down in the foot. And I hope that y'all had a good time hanging out with me. I know I had a good time. So y'all take care. And in the words of my favorite astrophysicist, keep looking up.